Hello guys, welcome back. We have a car in the garage, and this very car here, it just experienced some fire burning, and after the fire burning it has been different kind of problem. This is 206. I don't know the year. We've been searching for the chassis number and we couldn't find it. They have done a job, repainted the body. We're still having some glitch here. You can see here there is a lot of fire. They have burned some of these areas here, the coolant tank. You can see all those areas there. You can still see some wire here that is exposed. I don't know if it is a ground wire. I don't know if it is shutting anything right now. You can see it right there. So we're still on it. Let me take for an. So now some other things which you're looking at here right now, apart from this very fire burning here, is we're trying to figure out exactly why it will not communicate with the scanner. So now my own base is not here. I've been looking for the wiring diagrams and fuse diagram, but I couldn't find it. Now I want to show you guys just of it. This is my dongle here connected, and I got a key somewhere here. Now this is 206. Normally if you can find the VIN number, you should be able to just impute it and find it. So on the pillar, A pillar, there is no the door pillar, there is no sticker there to find it. So I want to show you guys. The ignition is on. The car starts pretty much fine. I think it crank a couple of times before it starts, but my main stuff right now which I'm trying to figure out is why it's not communicating, because I need to know exactly what's going on inside the engine electronics. You can see here, failed to communicate. So I need to figure out exactly what's going on with the engine electronics and other systems, but it won't communicate. So if it doesn't detect it automatically, let's start it again. Most often times you need to be connected to a network in order to be able to scan most of the Peugeots, especially when you're dealing with X2. But that's something which launch does pretty much better than X2 in some cases. So here, for my time using launch, I've not been requested to connect on internet before I can be able to access any Peugeot car. So here, let me go automatic detection. Let us see if it's gonna communicate. Now I'm gonna show you guys something as soon as we're done and it's not working out. Although I've made some recon, I don't know if that recon really works out. But if suppose you have experienced this kind of thing, I'm gonna assist you in this very video here to know how to deal with some of the issues. Sometimes replacing the wiring harness could actually help you a lot. I'm talking about both from the engine, but it's gonna be a lot, you know. So it's communicating and it failed to automatically. So, and it says to enter the VIN manually. I don't have it. I don't know where to find it. Now let's go manually. This is 206. I'm gonna just choose any one. Selection. I'm gonna say engine control module. So let me try to read the engine control module and see what happens. So technically speaking, if suppose it communicate with some certain modules, it might actually, okay, look at it here, communication implausible. Okay, let's check the transmission system, because the transmission system is being a little bit erratic. Let's see if it's gonna communicate. Maybe it might, because I fixed some issues here and I'm still about to fix more. So if it doesn't communicate with that, I'm gonna try a couple of modules so we know which one is communicating and which one is not communicating, because I just showed you guys here. Okay, it seems like it's about to communicate right now, because previously I tried it and it didn't. Okay, so let me try the ABS EPS and see if it's gonna communicate. I'm gonna try different control modules, because at this very point right now we're just about finding out exactly why it's not communicating. So if you don't have the wiring diagram or the fuse diagram, then you should. I'm gonna teach you something very useful today with Peugeots. I've been seeing it, a lot of you guys have been seeing it, but you don't know really what it is or what they did there. And let's wait for it and see if it's gonna communicate with the electronic stability program. And if it didn't communicate, no problem. We're gonna go through this. Okay, it's not recognized and may result to inaccurate data failure, blah 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 blah. Okay, now I think it did communicate to some certain point. Let me check if it's MK70. I don't know the make of the control module for the EPS. Okay, failed to communicate. Let me check the MK60, ESP, MK50 or ABS TEVs. I still want to check it. Fail to communicate. Okay, let's check this one. There are 3 different versions. So if it doesn't communicate with any of them, then it means this is not this could be a wiring problem due to the burnt wires. Okay, here. Okay, it does communicate. It does communicate. So this ABS system is actually the TEVs. So read error code. Now that's good. So it communicates, so which means this is not a total discommunication with the system. Some of the system is not communicating, so we gotta find out. So exactly, I'm saying that is actually fuse that is causing those problems. Now let me start to give you details. Now if you go over to this very fuse panel here, I'm gonna pull the camera closer so you take a look, and you see there is a whole lot of different fuse that blows up. And that's one good thing with this, their own system. So if a fuse is blown, I've been sitting on top of this for many years right now. I didn't really know until I come across this right now. So if the fuse is blown, you don't even need to use a multimeter to test it before you can be able to see it. You can see it with your eyes, just like you can see it right now on this very video. So you can see here, from here, this fuse, a 10 amp fuse is blown. This one is blown. There are a lot of them. So I'm gonna go ahead and replace them. And I'll try to communicate with the system again, and definitely this time I'm certain it's gonna work out. So in order to burn much of your time, let's take a look around more. So this is basically what you need to do when you come across kind of the generic fuse. You just to look at it and see. So I'm gonna pause this video when I replace some of them, right? I'm just gonna give because I don't have the right fuse there, so I'm just gonna rewire them with a little gauge. So I test run the system and see if it communicates. If it communicates, then I'm gonna go into shopping to get the right fuse, so we don't blow out any control modules, because they can be pretty much expensive. I hope that's clearly understood. So I'm gonna pause the video here. Okay guys, this is very, very absurd, because right now the ECU will not communicate and the transmission control module will still not communicate, and that makes it much more harder for me to find exactly the culprit. Is only the let me try the instrument cluster. I'm still gonna try more. It's only the electronic stability program that communicated. Okay, let me check the instrument panel. Also ABS here communicating. Just I could communicate. I don't have full brain bus. I don't have full gearbox. Oh yeah, communication. I want for ya or communicator. I want for ya man communicate. And the which I fuse blow which I buy and replace it, but I'm car.